Alright, to start off the show, we had a Roman Reigns promo, and this is another illustration of why Roman Reigns being a heel is the only way to go. This was full heel. He was embracing it. He was going at the crowd, and they were feeding into it. For some reason, Vince McMahon refuses to give us what logically makes sense. This is like peanut butter and jelly. It just goes together. Roman Reigns and heel, it goes together. When's the last time you had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I just had one yesterday. And as it was when I was 5 years old, it was delicious. And that's exactly what this was yesterday. This was what you call delicious. So, Roman's in the ring, is giving this heel promo, and just like last week, the ambulance appears, the sirens are going off, it appears next to the stage, it backs up, Roman stops what he's doing, gets out of the ring, goes to the ambulance, hesitates for a little bit, opens the back of it, nobody there. Braun comes back, he attacks him from behind, whooping his ass. Obviously they had to have Roman come back a little bit, but didn't work. Braun throws Roman off the stage into the side of the ambulance, and it was a pretty rough bump. But if this is any indication of what the ambulance match will be, I'm fine with it. Now, an ambulance match is one of those gimmicky matches that usually isn't good, but I love me some Braun Strowman, so Braun Strowman is the reason why I'm into this match. Not really Roman, because obviously we know the end game with Roman, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna have Roman beat Braun. If the rumors of Roman versus Lesnar at SummerSlam are true, then Roman has to beat Braun. Now this is all setting up. This is 2 weeks in a row. Braun has come back and he's dominated Roman. This is setting up for Roman beating Braun at Great Balls of Fire. But if it isn't Roman beating Braun, then it has to be Braun versus Lesnar for the title at the next pay-per-view. It has to be. Otherwise, the whole point of this is non-existent. But I thought it was great. Braun stands tall once again. I'm not finished with you yet. Yeah, you know, it's amazing how far Braun's come since being a part of the Wyatt family. He was a part of the Wyatt family, and it was just like this another gigantic guy with a big beard. But ever since he's gone solo, he's done nothing but improve to the fact where he should have been champion already. Don't give me Brock Lesnar. Don't give me Goldberg as champion. Give me Braun Strowman as champion and give him a good 5-6 month reign. And if he loses to Roman Reigns at the end, but at least Braun got a long, lengthy reign and just destroying everybody. Now, hopefully, that's what we get in a few months. Hopefully, that's what we're heading towards. Braun beating Roman Reigns and then taking that belt, that ugly ass belt. But so then we transition into Elias Sampson and Sheamus and Cesaro They're in the ring. They're getting ready for a 3-man band performance, and they're interrupted by the Hardy Boys. So this is setting up a 6-man tag match: Samson, Sheamus, and Cesaro versus Finn Balor and the Hardy Boys. And all I could think about during this match was the Drifter was a glorified jobber in NXT. He was a jobber in NXT. If we're being honest right now, he was a jobber in NXT. Now he had some profiled feuds, but at the end of the day, he was always a jobber. And he comes to Monday Night Raw, and you can make the argument that with Dean Ambrose as champion, he was above Dean Ambrose. Now, I already have my beef with Dean Ambrose, and I'll get into that later, but it's amazing how you can go from one situation where the future is dull as can be to the next situation where you're in a couple of months he's getting the Intercontinental Championship. It's written on the wall. He's getting that belt. And the fact that they've turned a jobber and they've been able to legitimize who he is and who his character is, and they've been able to legitimize him in the ring. It's a testament to one of the things that Vince McMahon and the bookers, what they can do right. Now later on, it was pretty obvious they did some shit that makes you, as a wrestling fan, a lifelong wrestling fan, it just makes you wanna turn the TV forever. And, but the Drifter is an example of doing something right, doing something. It was okay in NXT, but they've perfected it on the main roster to the point where he's legit, and that's got to be a good feeling for him to understand that at one point he was just going to be another jobber on the main roster to now, at least for the time being, he's a high profile star on the main roster. So in this match, the heels dominated. Sheamus and Cesaro, they heel tag teamed Finn Balor. They kept him on their side of the ring. They worked him over. He gets a little tag on Jeff Hardy. Jeff starts to build some momentum. He does a splash to Sheamus and Cesaro outside. And the thing about Jeff Hardy is that every high spot that he does, it always looks rough. Like I've never seen Jeff Hardy in my entire life. I've never seen Jeff Hardy take a high spot and it didn't look rough. Like this spot, he overshot them, and every time it feels like he's an inch away from knocking himself out, or an inch away from dislocating an arm, or blowing his back out. Like, Jeff Hardy takes the roughest bumps of anybody I've ever seen. It's amazing to me that he's just walking normally and he's able to do everything gracefully to a degree, because he takes bumps. He takes bumps like an old person. Like when the old person just bumps into a wall, they start to bleed. That's Jeff. That's Jeff. He's not trying to bleed. He's not trying to bump into the wall. It's just he can't help it. He can't help it. Now it gets you excited, but it's like at the same time, as soon as he's in the air, all I can think about is he's about to hit the ring a certain way. He's about to hit the mat outside a certain way, the barricade. He's gonna do something, and it's gonna hurt me. But he does that splash outside, and it's just rough. But after that, come back from commercial, they're working over Jeff now, and long story short, it was a decent match. The crowd was into it up until a couple segments later. The crowd was hot for the show so far, and they were into this match obviously because Finn Balor, Hardy Boys, they're gonna cheer for them, and then you put them on a team together. That's like an orgasm for any wrestling marks out there. So it's like it's impossible not to be into a match when you have the Hardy Boys and Finn Balor on the same team in the same ring. It's hard. You can't call yourself a wrestling fan. You can't call yourself a wrestling fan if you don't cheer for the team of Finn Balor and the Hardy Boys. Like I should slap you. I want somebody to tell me you don't like Finn Balor. You don't like the Hardy Boys. I dare you to tell that to my face. I guarantee you, I will slap you. And then when you look at me confused, I'ma slap you for looking confused. Like that's not something you should not cheer about. That's just something that you should not sit on your hands for. If I see anybody not cheer for Finn Balor or the Hardy Boys at the same damn time, I'ma slap you in your face. And you can't take me to jail. You can't take me to court. You know why? Because I'ma slap you if you do that too. But Jeff gives the hot tag to Finn. He does a nice little splash to the outside. Coup de grace. The faces win. It was a really good match. The atmosphere from the crowd, it enhanced the match. It was a decent match, but the crowd being really into it kind of put it over more. But it was a good match. But like I said, if you don't cheer for Finn Balor and the Hardy Boys, then you can come see me outside. I don't know what that girl name is. I'm not gonna say what she said. All I'm gonna say is I'ma slap you in your face if you tell me you don't like that. So next we have a Goldust promo. He references Beetlejuice, which reminded me I need to go look at Beetlejuice, because Beetlejuice was one of those movies when I was a kid. Like, it rarely ever came on TV, but every time it did, I would always tune into it like halfway in, and I never knew what the hell was going on. But Beetlejuice is one of those movies, like, people don't talk about Beetlejuice a lot. Beetlejuice is a weird movie, but it's a good movie. It's weird. It's like, have you ever saw somebody that you were like, you're ugly but you have a nice personality? That's what Beetlejuice is. It's not the prettiest movie, but the meaning in it is so beautiful. I can't tell you the meaning because it's been a minute since I've seen it. I can just recall being invisible kids and shit, and Beetlejuice was this ugly ass, I think, was it Michael Keaton or something? I don't know. Beetlejuice was a weird movie, but it was good. It's like when the food is disgusting, but it looks what is it, appeasing? Is that the word, appeasing? I don't know. Is that the word, appeasing? When the food is disgusting, but it looks good. That's the word. I'm gonna say that. When the food is ugly, when the food is disgusting, but it looks good. Or when she got a big ass but her legs skinny. That's what Beetlejuice was. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, hold on. Long story short, Goldust says the shattered truth is hitting Hollywood tonight. Then we go to commercial. That sets up Goldust versus R-Truth. Listen, Goldust. I used to be afraid of Goldust back in the day. When I was a little kid, I used to hate Goldust. It was one of those things where when you were a kid, you hate all that freaky shit. I didn't like Undertaker. I was scared of Undertaker. I was scared of Kane. I was really scared of Kane. I was scared of Goldust. Who else? Papa Shango. I was scared of all that shit. And I was actually happy to see that Goldust was wearing fucking a retro Goldust outfit. But the thing was, when he was wearing his black outfit that he was wearing before he turned heel, he looked so much skinnier. But he was wearing this retro shit. I swear, it's like his from his waist down, it was all skinny. But he had a belly. And it was like, I don't remember him having a belly when he was wearing the black suit. It was weird. I was happy to see the retro Goldust outfit, but I saw the belly and I was confused. Just like with the Beetlejuice shit. Beetlejuice is a ugly ass movie, but it has the personality. The retro Goldust outfit, it's a beautiful outfit, but the belly made it ugly. I didn't understand it. I was happy to see it. I was happy when I saw it. Then I wasn't happy when I saw it. You know what I mean? I was happy when I saw the outfit. Then I saw the belly. I was like, no, go back to the black. It wasn't flattering at all, but that's just me nitpicking. I love me some Goldust. Goldust is the shit. Goldust is the shits. And his promos that he's doing now, just like he was doing back in the 90s, fucking awesome. And he had his own private cameraman who had a fucking CeeLo Green gold jumpsuit on and a camera, a dummy camera with fucking gold pieces on it. And R-Truth comes out, and I don't know if R-Truth has some new pants on. I don't really pay attention to R-Truth's pants because he's always wearing jeans with the fucking R on it. But I like his pants. I wish I could wear those to sleep or some shit. But R-Truth comes out, Goldust cheap shots him, and the private cameraman for Goldust, he's like not leaving the ring. He's filming the entire thing of Goldust attacking R-Truth and just beating him up. But at no point did they ever cut to the camera. Obviously, it's a dummy camera. It had no wires connected to it like all the other cameras do that are around the ring. It had no wires connected to it, so obviously it was a dummy camera. But it would have been awesome if the camera was real, and as Goldust is attacking R-Truth, they cut to the golden camera, and it has the filter, nice little filter on it, making it look like a movie, and it's all up close and personal. And I would have loved to have seen that, but it was this segment was lackluster. I love me some Goldust. I love me some R-Truth. They had the potential to be what Goldust and Booker T were back in the day. It just, they never pushed them to that limit, which is incredible to me because this is like comedy gold, and that's what Booker T and Goldust were back in the day. That was all comedy gold, and it got over because they made it work. People like both people. People love Booker T, they love Goldust. So you put those two together, they have great comedy timing. It's only a matter of time before it works. But they never gave Goldust and R-Truth that chance. R-Truth is one of the funniest people, and he's loved backstage. He's funny as hell. If you look at on YouTube and all that crap, he does all this fake Facebook live shit. And backstage, everybody backstage loves him. And Goldust, everybody loves him too. It's hard not to love Goldust. So this is a match made in heaven to put both of these guys together. And they just never push them to what they could have been in this. It's sad, but as long as they're on TV and they're doing something, I'm down with it because I love both of them. They're two of my favorites. So I just wish that this segment was an actual match. Now, granted, having Goldust attack R-Truth is just going to give him more heat, and it's just going to drag this on longer, which I'm down with. I just wish it was a match, and I wish he would have cheated at the end of the match. I wish we had more time of this than some shit that we had in a couple of seconds. I wish we had that than when we had for the Miz TV shit. But I just wish that this was built a little better. For at least for the night. I wish it was the actual match, but that's just me nitpicking. It was still good. So next we had Paul Heyman versus Paul Heyman, like he's a wrestler. It was a Paul Heyman interview backstage with the beautiful Charlie Caruso. And I don't know if you guys noticed this. I don't know if it's just because of how she talks or if she has like retainers or some shit. Charlie Caruso talks like a fucking Sports Center announcer that's just doing the business for the first time. It's kind of annoying, but I like her. I like her. She's beautiful. She's good to look at, and she's a good interviewer. Renee Young is still the best interviewer they have, but Charlie Caruso is like the second best. And it doesn't hurt to look at Charlie. I'm going off topic. Alright. He says that Brock Lesnar will call out Samoa Joe tonight in the middle of the ring. And then out of nowhere, Samoa Joe comes up behind Paul Heyman and he puts him as if he's going to choke Joe out. And Paul Heyman just freaking the hell out. And Joe, just like he did a couple weeks ago, when he had Paul Heyman in the corner, and he was talking calmly to him and intimately with him. He was like, "You give this to Brock Lesnar. You give this to Brock Lesnar. This was meant for Brock Lesnar, but he's not here, so this is for you." When he said that a couple weeks ago, it was awesome, and he did the same thing today. He was telling Paul Heyman that this is not for you. This is for Brock Lesnar. I'm not gonna do it to you. I'm gonna give this to Brock Lesnar. And they couldn't book Samoa Joe any better. They've booked Samoa Joe to be a better competitor against Brock Lesnar than they ever did for Roman Reigns. I can't buy Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar after this feud. Unless they promote Roman Reigns to the same degree that they've promoted Samoa Joe, I don't care about that match. I already don't care about that match, but you can't have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar follow this match and not book Roman Reigns to be as dominant as Samoa Joe has, to be as fearless as Samoa Joe has. Now, granted, they're going to do it anyway. They're going to book Roman Reigns to be like, this is my yard. This is my yard. But Roman Reigns does a lot of talk. This is my yard. And then Braun Strowman comes down and kicks his ass. But Samoa Joe is all about that action. Put some respect on my name. He's all about that action. He don't give a fuck who you are. Oh, you're Brock Lesnar, you're the beast? Alright, let me go choke you out real quick. And it was I love me some Samoa Joe. I love me some Samoa Joe. And I'm big. I've been big on Samoa Joe for about at least 10 years from when he first got the TNA. Because he first got the TNA and he was feuding with Kurt Angle. And y'all know I love Kurt. Well, y'all don't know, but I love me some Kurt Angle. So he debuted in TNA. He was a beast in TNA. Samoa Joe was a beast in TNA. He was kicking everybody's ass. And then he had a great feud with Kurt Angle. And then he was feuding with AJ Styles. So I've been a fan of Samoa Joe for years. And this feud is allowing casual fans who don't know who Samoa Joe is, it's allowing them to understand that Samoa Joe is just as big, he's just as dominant as Brock Lesnar. Casual fans know who Brock Lesnar is. Because you can be a casual fan and you can hear about UFC, all that shit. When Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker, ESPN and all that crap, all the media outlets talking about it. So if you're a casual fan, you've heard of Brock Lesnar. You're not a casual if you're a casual fan, you haven't heard. Chances are you haven't heard of Samoa Joe, unless it has something to do with this Brock Lesnar feud. So this is doing nothing but making Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is the biggest beneficiary out of this. If I'm using that word correct. I don't think I am. My vocabulary isn't that good, but we're gonna move on. Next, oh Lord, oh fuck. Next we had this was I believe at the start of hour 2 or just going into the start of hour 2. And we officially reached the black hole of the night. Like we couldn't even get an hour into it, an hour and a half before we reached the black hole. So we have Miz TV with the Ball family, Lavar, LaMelo, and Lonzo. And all I can say is, well, let me take that back. I'm going to say a lot. I'm going to say a lot about this shit. But when I first heard that he was going to be, it wasn't even about Lonzo. When I first heard that LeVar Ball was going to be on WWE TV, I heard like an hour or two before the show started. All I could think of was, what the fuck? In my head, all I could think of, what the fuck? Now, let me start off by saying, when LeVar Ball first started to become a public figure, all those months ago, I could not stand him, just because of the arrogance. I don't like people that are arrogant like that, and they haven't done shit. It's like I hate rap songs. Like I don't like DJ Khaled because he's a hype man on the song that he has nothing to do with. Well, yeah, he's producing it, but he's not an artist on the song. So I don't want to hear DJ Khaled during the song. Like I don't want to listen to Wild Thoughts and hear DJ Khaled every 5 seconds. Like I don't like hype men. And that's what LeVar Ball is. He's a hype man. And I didn't like him at first. But after a while, me not liking him started to turn into, he says some of the dumbest shit. And he's so fucking goofy that you just gotta laugh. So my dislike for him started to turn into, I don't give a fuck anymore, because he's just gonna be him, and you gotta accept he's gonna be him. And if you can accept somebody being them, then there's nothing wrong with the situation. Like his son is fucking cool, calm, and collected. He's dealt with his dad for 19 years. He's gonna keep continuing to deal with his dad for the rest of his life with the way that his dad is. So I have no beef. I have no, all the people that want to talk about LeVar Ball as a parent, y'all can shut the fuck up. Because his kids have nothing. None of his kids are in bad situations. None of his kids do anything illegal. His son was the number fucking 2 pick in the draft. So it's all the people that want to talk shit about LeVar Ball as a parent. You can shut the fuck up. You can suck my dick from the back, and that might have been too inappropriate. But you have no right to talk about somebody's parenting skills for something that you see on TV. His sons have nothing to say bad about him as a parent. So what gives you the right to say something bad about him as a parent when all you see is the showman that he is? He's Don King of the basketball world right now. Don King was the ultimate fucking hype man promoter. So now we have LeVar Ball. All he is the hype man. All he is the promoter. Everything that he does to garner attention to him is only benefiting him. Because every time he says something ridiculous, what is he wearing? He's wearing something with 3 B's on it. He's wearing a hat with 3 B's. He's got a tie with 3 B's. So he's doing shit, and every frame of every picture, every video that you have on him when he says it is him wearing his own brand. So he's saying ridiculous shit that helps him promote himself, his brand. It helps him make money. So that's exactly what this segment was all about. They had mannequins in the fucking ring with 4 Big Baller brand shirts. So you already knew what the deal was. This was all a marketing brand for LeVar Ball. This was beneficial. This was a beneficial act for Vince McMahon. I have no problem. I'm a mark for the business, but I know what the fuck it is too. I don't boo Roman Reigns because he can't wrestle. I don't boo Roman Reigns because I don't like him. I don't even boo Roman Reigns. Period. I just see Roman Reigns and I'm disappointed because I know that for the majority, Vince McMahon is the reason why Roman Reigns can't succeed to his fullest potential. So I don't boo Roman Reigns because he sucks. I don't boo Roman Reigns because he can't wrestle, because I know that those two statements are false. He can wrestle. If you give him somebody like Samoa Joe, if you give him somebody like AJ Styles, somebody that can carry the match, somebody that can give him a good match, then you can see him and Samoa Joe just had a fucking fantastic match last week. So you can't tell me he can't wrestle. He needs somebody to help him go, but he can go. And people that want to take their anger out on Roman Reigns, it's like, what's the point? He's not the one to blame. It's the guy writing his checks that's to blame. So my beef with this Miz TV segment was, it was just so embarrassing. Like, it's just like having that Transformer guy on commentary. It's like, what's the fucking point? Like, Los Angeles, they always have to promote shit. Always have to have celebrities. Like, what's the point? Nobody in that arena knew who that guy was from on commentary. I didn't know he was from Transformers. I don't give a shit. I don't care about Transformers. And it was like, why is he talking? I don't want to hear him talk. Why is he talking during his match? I don't want to hear him talk. I don't want to hear celebrities who don't have anything to do with the fucking business or know anything about the business. I don't want to hear them talk. I don't want to hear them a part of anything significant. I don't want them in the ring. I don't want them on the commentary. I don't want them backstage. If you're a celebrity, you keep that for special appearances outside of the show. You keep that for a fucking WWE 2K event. You keep that for SummerSlam. You keep that shit for Flow Rider when he performs at WrestleMania. Even that is bullshit. But my beef with this segment was not simply the fact that it was LeVar Ball. Because I understood that this is going to do nothing but promote Big Baller Brand and LeVar Ball and Lonzo Ball. And then he's so fucking ridiculous and such a character that he's gonna have no choice but to help promote the WWE. They're gonna be talking about the WWE, LeVar Ball being on the WWE on ESPN, Fox, any other sports outlet. I guarantee you today, and for days to come, when they mention LeVar Ball, they're gonna mention WWE at some point and how ridiculous he was. So it benefits Vince McMahon. It benefits LeVar Ball. My beef was not with the business. My beef was, I don't want this shit in my fucking wrestling ring. I don't want this on my TV screen. I don't want this anywhere near this product. And it was as soon as the segment started, the crowd was fucking dead. The crowd was so hot from the beginning of the show. But once this segment started, the crowd was fucking 50% dead for the rest of the show. And LeVar Ball was acting the fucking stupid as per usual, because he's a good he's not a good businessman. He's a good promoter. And what's the best way to promote yourself than to act stupid on national TV and get people to talk about you? They're already talking about you, so let's get them to talk about me more. Let me take my shirt off. Let me act all foolish, like a kung fu master. Let me hijack the segment. And he was trying to improv with the Miz, and the Miz was just standing there taking it. And for some reason, somebody backstage was like, "You know what? Let's not send Dean Ambrose out there yet. Let's not send him out there yet. Hold on. Okay, it's still going. All right, let's go. No, not yet. And then LaMelo, as soon as his dad took off his shirt, LaMelo started to say, "Beat that big ass." And as soon as he said it the first time, that's when they hit Dean Ambrose music. They didn't hit Dean Ambrose music at any point prior. When the segment was starting to bomb horrendously, it was already bad. The segment was already bad. But once it started to get even worse and even worse and even worse, they didn't put Dean Ambrose music on. No, they didn't wait. They waited until the youngest son said nigga on national TV. They waited till he said nigga twice. They waited till he said nigga 2 times on national TV. He said nigga on WWE TV. And that was their breaking point. Their breaking point wasn't the 5 minutes prior when the segment was going horribly. And even when Dean Ambrose came out, LeVar Ball still couldn't shut the fuck up. I put out a tweet prior to the segment happening, and I said, giving LeVar Ball a live mic on live TV is insane. Ladies and gentlemen, Vince McMahon, you are insane. That was the quickest. That was worse. Well, it might not have been worse than the Bayley "This Is Your Life" segment, but damn, it was close. That was the quickest way to get a crowd to just fucking deflate. That was the quickest way to make a crowd not care anymore. And you could tell because the match after this was another 6-man tag team match. It was Ambrose, Slater, and Rhino versus The Miz, Bo Dallas, and Kurt Axel. And you can just tell this entire time during this match, they were trying so hard to get the crowd back into it, but the crowd was fucking dead. Because this followed the fucking LeVar Ball segment. And that crowd was dead the entire fucking time during that segment. So you expect me to get hyped for a match when two other people in this match were involved in that horrendous segment. Two of these people are jobbers that you never used on TV who have all the potential in the world. You don't use them on TV, but you put them with The Miz, and they don't care about Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel because you haven't given them the time and the opportunity to have people care about them. And you have Slater and Rhino, who is a comedy act now. That's one of my beefs with that LeVar Ball segment. The fact that they spent 10 minutes, felt like forever, on LeVar Ball instead of, hey, how about we have like Apollo Crews or Titus O'Neil or the Revival. You remember the Revival? You know, the guys that came out later on on the night and broke up Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar. You remember those guys? You remember the Revival? Do you remember the Revival? Did y'all know they were still in the company? You wouldn't know that because instead of putting them on the time slot where the Miz TV segment was, they had Miz TV with LeVar Ball, where the youngest son said nigga on TV. Do you guys remember how Bo Dallas was NXT champion? You guys remember how Bo Dallas was a dominant NXT champion? You guys remember how Curtis Axel was a Intercontinental champion? Did you guys know that Bo Dallas is the son of IRS? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that Curtis Axel is the son of Hall of Famer in Mr. Perfect? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that in their DNA, they have the DNA of two superstars? One has the DNA of one of the best in-ring performers to ever be in the WWE. Not only in-ring performer, but it was natural. He was Mr. Perfect because it was fucking natural. And Bo Dallas, him and his brother have the blood of a guy who not only was he wasn't the biggest star, but he was still a fucking superstar. He still was a recognized name during his time. These guys are second generation superstars. Curtis Axel is a fucking third generation superstar. But no, instead of trying to build them up as characters, let's have fucking LeVar Ball. And let's have his youngest son say nigga on TV. You remember how back to back we had Bailey, and then we had Mickie James, and then we had Dana Brooke, and we had Emma. You remember how like Nia Jax had essentially she squashed them. Some of them put up a bigger fight, but you remember how Dana Brooke lasted 10 seconds. Remember how like Mickie James lasted maybe 5 minutes. Bailey maybe 5 minutes. Emma maybe 2 minutes. Instead of devoting so much time to LeVar Ball, we could have gave all that time to the women to have longer matches. But nope. We're going to give it to Lavar Ball. And we're going to let his youngest son say nigga on TV. So, back to the fucking tag team match. The Hills win, but one of my beefs with Dean Ambrose, and this might be, I should probably say this for another day, but I'm not going to. Dean Ambrose is, in my opinion, is one of the worst sellers in the company. In any match, when somebody's working over his knee, when I'm working over his leg, he sells it so cartoonishly, so goofy. And I don't know if it's because he's still stuck in the indie days, the CZW days, where you can do all that cartoonish fucking selling, but I just don't like Dean Ambrose anymore. His world championship reign was lackluster to say the least. His Intercontinental Championship reigns are lackluster to say the least. And it's just him as a character, I just don't care about it anymore. I just don't. And I could go in on Dean Ambrose right now, but I'm not going to. Because I just want to stop talking about this fucking segment. This half-hour bullshit that happened. The Heels win. Yada, yada, yada. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in the long run. Dean Ambrose is not getting that championship back, so whatever. It doesn't matter. Next, we had Enzo and Cass video package talking about their careers together, being brothers together, and then Cass turning on Enzo last week. And this would lead to an Enzo promo, which was really good. If nobody tells you, it was really good. Now, Enzo has the tendency to say a bunch of promos that just don't make any fucking sense. And most of the time, the crowd doesn't say shit because they don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's just rambling. He's just making references that nobody understands. He doesn't understand because he's coming up with them on the fly. So he's still trying to figure out the reference in his head. But this is one of those where it was really effective. It was really good because there was a point to it. There was a clear-cut point to it. There was no goofiness about it. It was all one singular point. You are my brother. Cass, you are my brother. We are brothers. And what you did last week is not going to stop me from being your brother. It's not going to stop you from being my brother. I've reached out to you. I've even called your mother. I just want you to come out here. I just want to talk about it. You know, this bond that we have can never be broken. You are my brother. We're in this for the long haul. And I'll be damned if you break up this bond before we become WWE Tag Team Champions. And the whole time I'm thinking, Enzo, you make a lot of sense, but you sound like an ex-girlfriend. He sounds like the girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't want to offend anybody. He sounds like the boyfriend or girlfriend that they won't take no for an answer. They don't do well with rejection. It's like, bro, you just got your face caved in last week. And weeks prior to that, you had this boy clocking you in the back of the head, knocking you out. But you still don't get the hint. You still don't get it that he don't want to be with you no more. This man don't want to be with you no more, Enzo. He done kicked your face in. You done cried in front of this man. 2 weeks in a row, you done cried in front of this man. And he ain't done nothing but kick you in your fucking face. he begs for Cass to come out, and Cass comes out. He has a new header and shit, but he has the same fucking music. It's like, how do you turn somebody heel? How do you have a tag team break up because one person turns on the other person, and then you have an entire week they've thought about this. They planned this storyline for months, at least weeks, at least 1 month, and at no point have y'all decided to change the music at all. So Cass comes out to the same music that Enzo just came out to, and I'm sitting there. I was like, "Ooh, I can't wait for Cass to come out." Cass about to come out with that fucking some Diesel type music, with some Baron Corbin type music. He better come out with some Jersey hip hop shit that's dark as fuck. He better come out to some hip hop shit that make you want to just fight people. He better come out with that street shit. And he came out with Enzo fucking singing his music. He came out with the man that he kicked in the face. He came out with that man singing his music. He came out with the same music. And I was just like, what the fuck? Really? Y'all had a week at least to come up with some new music. Y'all came up with a new header and shit. Y'all came up with the new graphics for him. It don't take that long to make a beat. Y'all can give him a little beat just to hold him over for a week. But nope. We gonna let Enzo sing his music again. And Cass pretends to make up, and it was so obvious because Cass, I like Cass, but he still gotta get on. He gotta improve them acting chops, dog. Them acting chops is not that great, man. Because it was like the whole time I was like, Cass, bro, just kick him in the face. I know you're gonna kick him in the face. Just kick him in the face. I know you're gonna kick him in the face, Cass. Cass, why you talking, Cass? Cass, why you entertaining this BS, bruh? Cass, you know damn well you don't mean none of this. So stop talking, kick him in the face. And that's one of my beefs with this heel turn. They have Cass talking too much. I don't want Cass talking too much. I don't want him talking at all, actually. Last week they had him talking way too much. They should have just had Cass kick Enzo in the face and then tell Enzo, you're damn right I did, and then walk off. Don't have him talk a lot. Now granted, if he didn't talk a lot, we wouldn't have seen Enzo cry, but still, kick him in the face is still good enough. And then this week he gave a lengthy speech about Enzo was right, you are my brother, I'm sorry. Gave him a big hug. It's like, Cass, they got you talking too much. All you gotta do is kick him in the face. All you gotta do is kick him in the face. That should be your fucking move. Don't give me that elbow drop. Don't give me that side. What is that? What the fuck was that move? What's that move? You got the Empire move, which is that damn elbow. Whatever that sidewalk slam move. Don't give me that no more. Just kick people. Just kick people's faces off. Your move should be a big boot. Just kick it. Just kick his face off. Don't say nothing. Just kick his face off. That's all I want from Cass. Don't talk. Don't talk. Don't talk. Don't say shit. Just kick his face off. Walk out the ring. That's all you got to do. Kick his face off, talk out the ring. Same thing that they should do with Roman Reigns. Have him heel, but don't talk a lot. Just be about that action, boss. Just be all about that action, boss. That's all you gotta do. Don't talk. Just kick people's faces off. That's all you gotta do. That's such a great way to get heat. If you're a heel, don't talk. They want you to talk. Don't talk. Just do and leave. Don't say nothing. Just do it and walk away. You let Enzo do all the talking. You let him plead his heart out. And then when he's done pleading his heart out, you grab the mic, pretend like you about to say some shit, and you kick his fucking face off. And then you walk. You walk away. But Cass pretends to make up. They walk up to the ramp, arm in arm, and then he clotheslines Enzo. And then he picks him up and he tosses him down the ramp, which is a pretty bad bump. I don't know if it was as bad as it looked, but it looked terrible. And you heard it. I heard it through the TV screen. This shit was loud as hell. But I need for this to improve for me. I need Cass to be a silent killer. Like I said, don't talk. Be all about that action, boss. That should be his fucking slogan. I don't talk. I'm all about that action, boss. That should be, but he got to do it in his Jersey accent. I can't even do it. Can I do it Jersey? Can I do a Jersey? Cup of haters. I don't talk. I'm all about that action, boss. No, that was bad. We're not going to even talk about how bad that impersonation was. Cup of haters. Cup of haters. Cup of haters. Okay, and then we come back from a commercial, and Cass goes up to Corey Graves at the commentary table and says, he basically says, shut your fucking mouth. He doesn't say this, but I'm going to say it. He basically says, shut your fucking mouth, mind your business, and we ain't got no problems. He threatens Corey Graves. He's like, mind your fucking business. Whatever you got on Kurt Angle, it must be real serious. But as far as I go, and me and Enzo, mind your fucking business, bitch. That's basically what he says. He basically was like, I don't talk. I'm all about that action, boss. Next we had Seth Rollins versus Kurt Hawkins. And to start off, Kurt Hawkins was like, if anybody here thinks Seth Rollins is gonna beat me, make some noise. And everybody's cheering, rightfully so. And he's like, if anybody here thinks that I'm gonna beat Seth Rollins, make some noise. And everybody boos the shit out of him. It's like, really, dude? I feel bad for Kurt Hawkins, man. Because it's like, Kurt Hawkins is that jobber that they're embarrassing. Like, usually a jobber, he just jobs. Comes out to the ring and he just loses. But no, not with Kurt Hawkins. With Kurt Hawkins, they're going to have him do a little promo. And they're going to have him realize, even though he already realizes that he's a jobber, and he's there for nothing else, except for like the enhanced talent, they're going to have him embarrass himself even more. Hey, it's like 10,000 people in this arena. All y'all think I'm going to lose, don't you? Okay, y'all do? Alright. Y'all right? Uh-huh. And then later on, he goes on Twitter, he's like, well, if more people in Los Angeles thought that I would have beat Seth Rollins, maybe I would have beat him. It's like, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you, Kurt. It's been a long time since you was the Edgehead. You was the Edgehead. You was like tag team champion and shit. You was prominent. You was prominent, dog. You even went to the Indies. You was prominent. Not really, but you was prominent. Then you came back and now you got face the facts. If I'm Kurt Hawkins, I'm quitting. If I'm Kurt Hawkins, I'm quitting. You had me go on national TV and ask 10,000 people something that I already know. Something that they already know. They already know I'm finna lose. Why I gotta go ask them something that I already know and they already know? Just let me go out there and lay down and get pinned. Don't have me pump up my ego. Don't have me go get even more depression. I'm already depressed. I came back thinking I was gonna have a good role. No. Now I'm asking 10,000 people something that they already know is gonna happen. Already know that's gonna happen. 10,000 people chanting because they know I'm gonna lose. That's a horrible feeling. You don't want 10,000 people to know you're gonna lose. least make it believable. Maybe 10,000 people in the arena, but have 9,000 people chant that you're going to lose. Give at least 1,000 people to say you're not going to lose. Have them believe in you. 1,000 is a good amount. 1,000 for Kurt Hawkins, that's a good amount. Hell, if I'm Kurt Hawkins, it can be 10,000 people in the arena. 9,999 people can say that I'm lose, but that one person in the front row that's cheering for me, I'm gonna win for you, buddy. That little girl, that little boy in the front row that's cheering for me, I'm gonna win for you. I'm going off script. I'm gonna win for you. I'm gonna pin Seth Rollins, and if I get fired because of that, good, because they weren't using me right anyway. And so obviously, Seth wins with that fucking Rainmaker knee high knee shit that he like always tries to go for in a regular match, but he never does it. But when he's going up against a jobber like Kurt Hawkins, he can pull it off. And after the match, we had a Braun promo, and basically he was like, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you, Seth Rollins. I'm gonna cleanse yourself. I am a god, Seth. I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you, Seth. I'm gonna cleanse you. I'm gonna cleanse your soul, Seth. I am the devil. And I am the God. I don't know what the hell Bray Wyatt. Did I call him Braun or did I call him Bray Wyatt? I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But I never know what the hell Bray Wyatt is saying. It doesn't matter because he loses. So in the end, he can talk all the shit he wants to. He just loses. So it doesn't really matter. If he talks shit and he won, it matters. Or if he didn't talk shit and he lost, it's a different thing. But he talks shit and loses. So it's like, bruh, just stop talking. Obviously, you talking shit don't help you. So maybe you should learn something new. Just stop talking and maybe you'll win. Maybe if you stopped talking, you would have beat Randy Orton. Maybe if you would stop talking, you wouldn't even have to face Randy Orton. Maybe if your boss wasn't Vince McMahon, you still be the champion on SmackDown. I'm just saying. Maybe Bray. I don't know, Bray. Next we had Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, and Samoa Joe segment. Paul Heyman's in the ring talking a big game, and then Brock Lesnar comes out. The camera pans to the side of Brock, so you can't see Samoa Joe coming out and attacking that bitch. Samoa Joe comes out, knocks him down, puts the coquina clutch on him. And it's like almost immediately after Samoa Joe put his arms around Brock Lesnar started to turn red. Then he started to turn pink. And I was like, is Samoa Joe really choking him? Like, did Brock tell Samoa Joe, I want you to actually choke me? Because if Brock Lesnar told Samoa Joe, I want you to actually choke me, I never want to be in the alley against Brock Lesnar. I don't want to be in the ring against Brock Lesnar. I don't want to be in a fight with Brock Lesnar. I don't want to have anything. I don't even want a Brock Lesnar action figure. I don't want a Brock Lesnar sticker, picture, poster, postcard, postage stamp. I don't want anything Brock Lesnar affiliated. If he went up to Samoa Joe and was like, I want you to actually choke me, but I'm not gonna pass out. I want you to actually choke the life out of me. Just understand that I'm not human. So you choking me is not gonna put me to sleep. Just understand that, Samoa Joe. Because if Samoa Joe wasn't really choking him out, if Samoa Joe was just putting the coquina clutch on him like he usually does in a regular match, and Brock Lesnar going pink was all Brock Lesnar selling, then bravo to Brock Lesnar. Cause that man was going pink. It's like all the blood was leaving. It's like, cause your blood flows through your body, but because of gravity, it goes downward and up and around. That's why when you're upside down, all the blood starts to go to your head, and your head starts to hurt. But it was like all the blood, his head was going red and pink, as if he was standing upside down and blood was going through his head, but he was standing upright. It's like Samoa Joe had the powers to force all the blood to go from the bottom of his feet all the way up to his head and just stay there. It was weird as hell. I would like to believe that Brock Lesnar was like, "Hey, Samoa Joe, make sure you don't hurt me that bad." I would like to believe that Samoa Joe was just put the shit on there like a normal match. But if Brock Lesnar told Samoa Joe, "I want you to really choke me out," Samoa Joe is not the man to mess with. Brock Lesnar is not the man to mess with. I don't want to fight Samoa Joe either, but I feel a lot better going against Samoa Joe than Brock Lesnar. If anybody ever tells you, just FYI, if anybody ever tells you, "I want you to choke me out," I want you to put your forearm around my throat, around my esophagus, around my thyroid. Is your thyroid in your neck? Whatever. I want you to put your arms around my throat, and I want you to choke me out. I want you to hear me gurgle as the life is going out of my body. If anybody tells you that, and they mean it, but they know that they can get out of it, that's not the person to mess with. If you ever see that person, if you get a telescope and you see that person a mile away, go ahead and move. Even though it's a mile away, go ahead and move, because that's too close for them to be near to you. Even if that person is 2 states away, go ahead and move to the other side of the country. Go ahead and move to the other side of the world. I don't want that person near me. I'm uncomfortable right now, because I know Brock Lesnar is an alien. After this, we had Neville versus Lince Dorado with Akira Tozawa at ringside. He had his nice little velvet. It wasn't velvet. It was a fucking ugly ass purple. He had a box of popcorn. It was the Titus brand lounge, VIP lounge or some shit. Obviously, Neville goes over. Akira Tozawa was like, "Fuck this. I'm gonna get in the ring. I'm gonna fight you man to man." And Titus O'Neil came out. He was like, "Oh, nope. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this tonight. We're not doing this tonight." As a newest member of the Titus Worldwide, was it the shit? Why is it called Titus Brand and then he calls it Titus Worldwide? I prefer Titus Brand, but Titus Worldwide, it should be Titus Worldwide Enterprise. I like that better than just Titus Worldwide. Titus Worldwide Enterprise is so much better than Titus Worldwide. I want to be somebody tell Titus O'Neil to hook me up with a sponsorship, or to hook me up with a contract. And I want to be part of the Titus brand. If the Titus brand can help Apollo Crews come back and gain some type of relevancy or relevance, prominence, whatever the fuck you want to call it, then that's the type of brand I want to be associated with. Because Apollo Crews was nowhere. Apollo Crews should still be in NXT right now, actually. But Apollo Crews was doing nothing, and then they put him with Titus O'Neil, and now you want to see Apollo Crews. And Akira Tozawa was fucking phenomenal. So you know Akira Tozawa is getting that Cruiserweight Championship. You already know it. You know it. Especially since Austin Aries is about to turn heel. So you know Akira Tozawa is top babyface right now. Akira Tozawa's top babyface. He getting that belt. And then that just solidifies Titus O'Neil as being the best promoter in the entire WWE. If Titus O'Neil can get Akira Tozawa the Cruiserweight Championship, he is officially better than Paul Heyman. What did Paul Heyman do? He got the Beast, Brock Lesnar, a Universal Championship. Titus O'Neil got Apollo Crews some type of prominence that he never had before. And he got Akira Tozawa a championship. That's better. Getting Apollo Crews any type of prominence is way better than getting Brock Lesnar a championship. That's way better. Titus O'Neil should go to the Hall of Fame just for helping Apollo Crews find some stability. So Titus O'Neil comes out and says, at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, it's going to be the Neville level versus the power of Tozawa for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself. Tozawa, he getting that belt. And if Tozawa doesn't get that belt, he's going to get it at SummerSlam. It's probably more likely he's going to get it at SummerSlam. Because even if he does win, it's still going to be him versus Neville at SummerSlam. It doesn't matter. Either outcome at Great Balls of Fire, either outcome but in this match, it's still going to be Tozawa versus Neville at SummerSlam for the belt. Either way. And after this, we had Heyman versus. I keep someone to say Heyman versus somebody as if he's a wrestler. This isn't ECW. Heyman doesn't do shit anymore. We had a Heyman interview backstage once again with the beautiful Charlie Caruso. Long story short, Heyman calls Samoa Joe a fake Samoan or some shit like that. And he says, Great Balls of Fire. It was corny as hell, but whatever. It was another Heyman promo. I didn't really care about it. Whatever. It is what it is at this point. You know what you're going to get with Paul Heyman. He's going to talk. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's not. And then lastly, for the night, we had, this was second to last part of the night. We had Alexa Bliss, and Nia Jax backstage, and Bliss is just trying to warm up Nia Jax. She's trying to make Nia Jax feel like her and Nia Jax are the same people, that she has Nia Jax. She has her back. She really wants Nia Jax to win. She's pulling for Nia Jax. Now, in real life, these two are best friends. In real life, they are best friends. And it's weird to see best friends go at each other. Because on SmackDown Live, Charlotte and Becky, they're best friends. And they're faces. So we don't have to see them going against each other. But here it's like these two are best friends, so the dynamic doesn't work. Does that make sense? Like, they're best friends, so I can't take them going at each other seriously. Or sometimes it works, but in this situation it doesn't work for me. Just because Jax still isn't proven as an actor, and I'll talk about that during her matches. She still isn't proven as an actress the way Jax is. I mean, the way Bliss is. So I can believe what Bliss is saying, but I can't believe what Jax is saying, because Bliss has more conviction than Jax. So in order for the feud between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax to work for me, I would have to have Jax just blow me away with her acting skills, and it's just not there yet. But long story short, Bliss is trying to butter up Jax by saying, "I want you to win. I'm pulling for you. Good luck out there." And Jax says, "Yeah, I don't need your fucking luck, bitch." She didn't say bitch. She didn't say fucking either. She said, she was like, "I don't need your luck. Yeah, good luck to you. I don't need your luck. Good luck to you. I don't need your luck." And this leads into the women's gauntlet match to determine the number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship at Great Balls of Fire. The number one entrant into the match was Bayley. And let me just say this. Bayley is from what? San Jose? If I recall, San Jose is in California. If I recall, Raw was in Los Angeles last night. If I recall, Los Angeles is in California. So that would essentially, it wouldn't exactly make Bayley a hometown person, but it does in a sense. But the fact that, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but she came out and she got zero reaction. She had no pop at all. And this just goes to show to you how bad of a job Vince McMahon and the creative staff have done with Bayley. They've made rooting for Bayley almost impossible. Bayley was so good at NXT, and then they brought her up, and almost immediately, as soon as they brought her up, they started the narrative of, she's a little girl. She's not a woman. She's a little girl. She's a little girl who's never kissed a boy. She's not hardcore enough. She's not tough enough. She doesn't have what it takes. She's too innocent to be a women's champion. And almost immediately after they brought her up, they started to assassinate her character. That's exactly what they've done. They've assassinated her character to the point that you can't root for her. You can't. And it's not that you can't root for her, it's just that you don't want to. Because they've destroyed her character, but they also haven't done anything with her to make you want to root for her. They haven't done anything in the ring for you to make you want to root for her, because she loses all the time. And then her promos are so bad. Her promos are just, to me, her promos are just cringeworthy. I hate her promos now. I don't know if her promos were the same in NXT, and I just haven't noticed it. But if her promos are the same as they were in NXT, then that just proves to you that it's the main roster creative staff that's messed this up. Because if these are the same promos that she's done in NXT, and I just haven't noticed, then that means that they were working in NXT. The creative staff was doing good in NXT, but the main roster creative staff sucks. So she was the number one entrant in the gauntlet match, and Nia Jax was the second person. And I knew right away Bayley's losing this match. There was no way Nia Jax is gonna lose to Bayley. There's no way Bayley was winning this match at all. At all. I knew Sasha was gonna be the last person. But having Bayley be the first person and having not Nia Jax be the person she was gonna go up against, that sucked. Because that's not how it should have been. This should have been because it tells a false story. First of all, let me get this out the way. Nia Jax was the star of this entire match. Even though she didn't win, even though Nia Jax didn't win, she was the star of this entire match. She lasted from the first match to the last match, and she dominated each match, and she almost won the last match. Nia Jax was the star. The match between her and Sasha Banks was arguably match of the night. That match was fucking fantastic. But Bayley being the first person that Nia Jax goes against, it only shows that Bayley is losing this match. That was the obvious choice. Bayley is losing this match. It should have been because Nia Jax eliminates Bayley with a Samoa drop. Then after that match, we had Nia Jax versus Mickie James. Nia Jax dominates, obviously, and she wins. And then we have Nia Jax versus Dana Brooke. This lasts about 10 seconds. And for some reason, I noticed that the crowd popped during Nia Jax versus Dana Brooke. Not because it was Dana Brooke, but because apparently Los Angeles just doesn't like Dana Brooke. Now, granted, there's no reason to like Dana Brooke because she just doesn't have it. She just doesn't have the wrestling ability at all. But they popped when Nia Jax put that leg drop on her. They popped. And that was weird to me. Because if it was me, I wouldn't have popped for Dana Brooke. I wouldn't have popped for something bad happening to Dana Brooke. I wouldn't have popped for Dana Brooke being squashed because that's the out of all these matches, you knew Dana Brooke was going to be the one that was going to be the easiest. You knew Dana Brooke had no chance. Dana Brooke was the one person that had 0% chance from the get go. Now, granted, Emma wasn't going to win. Mickie James wasn't going to win. But Mickie James had like a 1% chance. Emma had like a 2% chance. Dana Brooke was the only person that had a 0% chance of winning. So why they popped for Dana Brooke getting squashed, I have no idea. Because you would think, in my head, even though I don't want it to happen, and I knew it was going to happen, I would have popped bigger for Bayley getting squashed than anybody else getting squashed. Just because they've done such a piss poor job with her that you don't want to root for her. You don't want to cheer for her at all. You don't care about her anymore. So it's like, whatever. Good. I don't care anymore. So whatever. She can get squashed. It doesn't affect me anymore. But Emma comes out and Nia Jax beats Emma with a Samoa drop too. And back to back, James, Dana Brooke, Emma, they were all like squash matches. And I would have preferred for Bayley to have been the second to last person before Sasha Banks. I would have preferred if Nia Jax went against Mickie James first, beat her, Dana Brooke beat her. Emma beat her. Just make her look even more dominant. And then have to go against Bayley and have to put up a fight. And that's where the real challenge comes in. And obviously Bayley loses. Or Bayley wins. But that's not what you want. That's not the best outcome. So Nia Jax would then beat Bayley, the second to last match, and then Sasha Banks comes out, and then it's still Nia Jax still surviving, still dominating. So the last match was Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks, which arguably this match was the match of the night. You can make that argument. The crowd was into this match. The crowd was hyped for this match. Now, granted, anything involving Sasha Banks, the crowd is gonna love. The crowd love Sasha Banks. You can make the argument Sasha Banks is the biggest face. Besides Charlotte, Sasha Banks is the biggest women's face for the women. And with Bayley being when Bayley being booked to shit, Sasha Banks being the biggest face is obvious. Everybody loves Sasha Banks. You can't if you mess up Sasha Banks, there's no hope for anybody. Sasha Banks has it. Sasha Banks has the shit where people want to see her. You don't want to see Bayley because Bayley has this fucking squeaky clean gimmick character. It's like whatever. Like all the smarks. They like Sasha Banks because Sasha Banks has the ability to be top face and top heel at any moment. She can be top face today, and tomorrow she can be top heel, and people are gonna love her either way. You can't do the same thing with Bayley, especially now. But it's like people love Sasha Banks, so that's one way to get people into Nia Jax. Have Nia Jax put Sasha Banks to her limits, and have Sasha Banks withstand everything. Have Nia Jax destroy 4 other women, and have Nia Jax just going through the gauntlet, literally. Have Nia Jax as tired as beat up as you can be, and she's still giving Sasha Banks everything she has. And Sasha Banks is coming back from everything. And Sasha Banks, she goes for a suicide dive through the ropes, and Jax catches her. And anytime Sasha Banks goes through the ropes to do a suicide dive, I get scared because it's just like Big E when Big E does that spear through the ropes. It's like he always botches it sometimes, and he clips the ropes, and he ends up goodness gracious, he ends up nose diving into the floor. Sasha Banks has a tendency to clip the ropes whenever she's gonna do a suicide dive, so she always stops her momentum abruptly, so she should end up nose diving. But this one was cool because Sasha Banks dove through the ropes. Jax Carter was getting ready to do a Samoan drop. Sasha Banks fights off of it, pushes Jax into the ring post, gets up on the apron, and does her double knee dive to Nia Jax. It was a really good sequence. And after this, Jax is dominating Sasha, making Sasha look like a bigger star. Sasha selling the shit out of everything Jax is doing. Nia Jax is working over Sasha's knees. Sasha's selling the shit out of it. And Nia Jax goes for another Samoan drop. Nia Jax goes for another Samoan drop. Sasha Banks is fighting out of it, puts the bank statement in while Nia Jax is standing up, and she's holding Nia Jax's arms back with her legs, and Jax is just standing there taking it. And Jax fights out of it, gets Sasha back up on the shoulders, but Sasha fights back out of it and gets another bank statement into it. This time holding both her arms behind her with her legs. Jax is going down to both knees, and then Sasha just starts bending Jax back, and Jax is selling the shit out of it, and the crowd is hype for it. The crowd is hot, and Jax fights for it for a minute, and then she ends up tapping out. Sasha Banks is the more contender. Kurt Angle comes out, raises her hand, and it was cool because Kurt Angle comes out and he essentially solidified everything that we already knew. But having Kurt Angle come out and raise Sasha Banks' hand was such a symbolic moment. And for Sasha Banks, it must have been cool as shit to have Kurt Angle come out and raise your hand. And the symbolism of that, of Kurt Angle coming out and raising Sasha Banks' hand, was cool as fuck. Basically solidifying Sasha Banks as being that bitch. Excuse my language, but that's exactly what she is. She's that bitch. Alexa Bliss has the title. Sasha Banks is that bitch. You know, and then Alexa Bliss comes out, tries to do a stare down with Sasha, jawing at her, raises her title, and Sasha drop kicks. It was weird because I don't recall Sasha Banks doing drop kicks that often, but when she did it, it was like out of nowhere. But it was a good drop kick. Bliss rolls out the ring. Sasha holds up the title, throws it. This is going to be the women's match at Great Balls of Fire. This was a great way to end the show. But I tell you, that LeVar Ball segment, this show has so much momentum going into that LeVar Ball Miz TV segment. And that segment killed the rest of the show. Honestly, it killed the rest of the show. The crowd was the hottest during this women's match. Not even the entire gauntlet match. Just during the Sasha Banks Nia Jax match. The crowd was that was when the crowd got hot again. Other than that, the crowd wasn't hot until they weren't hot until maybe the Goldust promo, or when Goldust came out. That was like when the crowd was still hot before the Miz segment. But after the Miz segment, it killed the rest of the show. So this show has so much momentum going into it from the start. Kicking off the show with Roman Reigns getting destroyed. Kicking off the show with Roman Reigns having a fucking heel promo. And then getting destroyed was fucking phenomenal. But then they just killed it. They killed all the momentum with the Miz TV segment. And it didn't take until the Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax match, which was the last match of the night, to have any energy in the show again. This show could have been fucking 4 stars, but you gotta get it 3.5 or some shit. Maybe. Because that Miz TV segment happened like an hour into the show. And we still had 2 hours left? So at least for 2 hours maybe, there was a black hole of just the crowd just not being energetic anymore. But if you take out everything from the Miz TV segment to the Heyman interview before the women's match, if you take all that out and you just leave everything else that was in the show, it was a pretty solid show. If this show was fucking 2 hours and you cut out all that other bullshit that happened, this would have been a really good show.